TLDW. You know what? No, screw that. Screw a TLDW. You guys don't get that for this video. You've gotten it for the last 2 videos. I'm not gonna be nice about it. If you don't have time to watch the video or you're too lazy to watch it, don't watch it. This video actually has really important information in it, and I'd rather people watch the video instead of just reading a summarized version of it. But I also feel like this series of videos has been a little bit too serious, so you know what? In celebration of me getting the strikes off, I had edited this little clip. I hope you all enjoy it.
Your bullshit, come off of that. Someone tell these motherfuckers that
Mario
is back. I got my do-rag on with my fitted sitting on it. Now I'm ready to fuck the game up, nigga. They can get it, you can get it, y'all can get it. It really doesn't matter, nigga.
Yeah, the Dark Knights and his
You know, water is so good. And you know what's also really good? Not having some community guideline strikes, or any strikes for that matter, on your channel. Now, I know some people are probably tired of me talking about this, but I made a video talking about why I got rid of a lot of my modding related videos and why some of them went down and what was going on with my channel. TLDR of that is, or TLDW in this case, I got 2 community guideline strikes for some modding videos, found out they could have gone against the circumvention of technological measures guidelines that YouTube has in place, took down a bunch of other videos, got those 2 strikes resolved quite early, and then I also ended up doing a community guideline strike rant, which was me just completely yelling about the community guideline strikes and why I think it's a whole lot of BS, so that's a whole video unto itself, which I'll probably try to remember to link somewhere. Now, there's going to be other videos I want to talk about because I also want to educate people about this stuff. So I'm going to talk about, for example, some more partnership update type stuff. I'm also going to be talking about the difference really between claims and strikes and different types of strikes, because a lot of people actually don't know about that and they confuse claims and strikes with one another when they are completely separate levels of punishment on YouTube. One of them is not even a punishment, but that's for another video. The thing is though, pertaining to this series of what has happened with the 2 community guideline strikes I got, I had to make one more video because immediately after I ended up making that video, or not even immediately, but about 24 hours after I made my video talking about where all my modding videos went, I ended up getting in contact with YouTube support, and we had a lot of back and forth emails, and it actually cleared up a lot of the conversation and can actually clear up many of the things on there. So with that, I am going to be talking about what happened with those videos, why they were brought back, and how fair use can actually come into play here, and how they might not have even violated the CTM measures right there, which is why I ended up getting the videos back. So let's go ahead and get into this. So what happened, if you remember me talking about kind of ranting where they ended up mixing up my name and everything while I was talking with YouTube, at one point, my person here, he ended up contacting me, and he was calling me a different name, and then I ended up asking him what name was on file, because neither of the names, Adam or Michael, were my name. So then he ended up replying, and he's like, hey, I apologize, we got that mixed up, it's all good, your name is Danny, we're good to go on that. So what ended up happening was about a day after that, or about, let's see, timestamps here, no, about a day after that, I ended up getting the strikes removed. Both the strikes and all 4 of my videos came back, and what happened was the day after I got my strikes removed, I ended up getting an email from this person. Now, I'm not going to use real names, so I'm just going to call him John. Now, John said, hi Danny, we hope that you're having a great day. Great news! The videos have been reviewed and your strike has been taken down. You are now clear of community guideline strikes. We do apologize for the inconvenience cause it took a long time to process. This guy was nice, but there was just some grammatical errors that he had in his email, so I don't know, it happens, man. Now, this is what happened. I ended up asking, and I said, I saw this almost 24 hours ago when it happened and was ecstatic. Thank you. I would like to know, though, what caused the strikes to be put in place and on what ground were they removed? I have removed the problematic videos as I do not want to deal with this again, but with that, I would like to know what was originally wrong with these videos, why they were rejected at first, and on what grounds they were now appealed if possible. And then John got back with me and he said, thank you for responding. They have reviewed all the videos for this response of yours. Quote, as I was not linking to illegitimate software, unquote, and as per our internal team's review, they found it was in fact not linked to such. Therefore, reinstating the video and clearing the strikes was in order. So that ended up saving my butt right there. That was a bit of CYA, right? And that is why it helped out so much when I said here on the channel, and I have meant it, and I have really done my best at trying to moderate this for the past few years I've managed this channel. I have said that I am anti-piracy on this channel. I want to teach people how to unlock their systems. I want to teach people how to do this stuff to have, backup and archival purposes. And I know piracy is going to happen. I know it is, but I'm not trying to facilitate it or feed it on this channel. And with that, that means I go in and I try and remove and block people who are talking about direct things to piracy on there, who are directly linking to things that might be related. And I don't ever link to any of that stuff, nor do I show you where you can get illicit copies of games or software in any of my videos. Like, even for example, some people might say, oh, well, Mario, it shows you copying your own games. Yeah, but those are my own games, and I show the original right there, and I show myself making a copy of it. I don't on there advocate at all going to any place and, stealing a game or, renting a game and copying it. I don't mention any of that aside from like right now as examples here. But another thing with that is I also don't show where you can download those games without anyone's permission. So in regards to that right there, I'm going to have to backtrack a few emails, and this was just over a week ago. So, well, no, almost 2 weeks ago, right? They ended up emailing me and they said, "Hi, Adam." Who is Adam? "I appreciate your patience. I have made an appeal in your behalf to lift the strike on your videos. Apparently, the decision will remain as it is. As per our legal team specialist, these videos were appropriately removed pursuant to our circumvention of technological measures policy. If you would like to learn more about the policy, please review this YouTube Help Center article." And then when you click there, it ends up taking you to the page where it talks about CTM and all that other fun stuff. Now, this is where what I talked about in my other videos, and I justified as those videos that I had removed and taken down were violating CTM, and they could have been seen for that. Now, the prelude to that, what happened even right before this, was for my second community guideline strike, which was for a video that was showing how to downgrade the operating system on your Nintendo 3DS using the Gateway 3DS flashcards. I ended up trying to appeal that strike, and it got rejected within 48 hours. And the people here at YouTube support said, if it gets rejected, we can escalate it. And I said, please escalate it. So when they escalated it to their legal team specialist at that point, they ended up saying, oh yeah, well, the strike is going to stay there because it was appropriately removed for violating CTM. And I said, okay, cool. Then I kind of sat on it, and I sat on it, and I sat on it some more. And finally, 4 days after this happened, I ended up emailing them back, and I said, again, false names on here, but I said, "Hi, John. I actually do have a question over this. I've looked over the circumvention of technological measures area of the link you sent me, and I very much appreciate the direct link to that as well as the clarification. As I was not linking to illegitimate software," see, that was the quote right there. Going back into it though, "as I was not linking to illegitimate software, I can see that a copyright notice was not placed. Therefore, I believe what you all are referring to is the part which states, quote, a CTM claim is appropriate when the infringed material isn't present in the video or directly linked to, but the video offers a way for users to access it illegitimately, unquote. However, as stated before, this was for backups of games, and I did not endorse nor do I promote piracy or illegitimate ways of obtaining games. Example, how to download free 3DS games." That's never a video I made, but I use that as an example to show that would be something that would, deserve a strike and a removal off YouTube. "I am also confused as to why exactly this would apply to the operating system downgrade video, as at that point it is offering a way to revert back to an older operating system with the 3DS system updates being public and free already. These tutorials were also made with fair use in mind. Could I please have some clarification on that?" And with that, nothing really came out of that, so the only response I got was, "We'll be reviewing your inquiry and we'll update you as soon as we get a response from our legal team." And that was when, about a week later, I ended up getting these strikes removed. So now you all know the story there. Now we're gonna fast forward to this point. We have confirmed that because of my persistence and because of all that going on, they ended up reviewing it again. So first off, the video was reviewed at one point. This video I'm talking about, the downgrade video, but all the strikes got removed. But this video, for example, and I guess all of them in there, point is, they ended up going in there, when they were flagged, they claimed that they reviewed them. Sometimes I doubt that, that's why I'm kind of putting air quotes on that. But they reviewed them, said these infringe whatever it is, the community guidelines, so they were removed. When I tried to appeal, the first one got stuck. The second one went through, and apparently they said, oh yeah, no, it still violates community guidelines. Again, I don't know how well those are reviewed. When I asked them to escalate it, a legal team specialist cited exactly why it was removed, and I sat on that and said, okay. But finally, the fourth time, so no, technically the third time, because Allegedly, it should have been reviewed at least 4 times, but this is the 3rd time I pushed it. The 3rd time I ended up pushing it where I wanted an inquiry from the legal team over my questions, that is when they went in and they got more clarification and they said, oh wait, these videos seem to be okay and don't fall under CTM restrictions or CTM violations, so here's the videos back. And I want to say huge shout out to one of my good friends on here, It's Lupo. He really kept me sane during this. He helped me out. He's dealt with this so much, and he was the one who told me. He said, keep a ticket open with Google, and that is what I can encourage you all to do if you all are ever dealing with a type of strike. You contact YouTube support and you keep a ticket open with them. And by that I mean, you contact them, they contact you back. You contact them, they contact you back. You keep replying to them. And with that, reply like once every 24 hours or so if you can, as long as you have an open ticket. Because of that, if you can keep that communication going, they are aware of the context, they know what is going on, and it is easier to get these things lifted. Because there were so many times I could have just sat there and said, well, there's nothing I could do. And I didn't think at that point, honestly, when I asked that question, I knew I had nothing to lose. I'm like, well, I'm already 2 strikes deep, and they've already said that they're going to keep it, so I want to know why exactly they want to keep it, and why fair use might not work right here. And I got my answer. The fact is, they actually gave me back my video. So huge shout, Max, I love you. Huge shout out to It's Lupo on that one. Now going back here, you know, when they quoted and said I was not linking to illegitimate software, here I end up saying, that's fantastic news. I appreciate you getting back with me on this. That's another thing, be nice about it as well too. Now to avoid any further confusion of this happening, what can be done to prevent that? This has been an extremely crippling time for my channel with the 2 strikes sitting on there, and it took quite a while and lots of back and forth to get this alleviated. All of my other tutorials in similar fashion are set up the same way, as I make it clear that I do not promote piracy and go out of my way to not link any piracy related sites and such. I would like to get back to my channel and get back to making videos without having to worry about this. Although I am extremely happy to be in good standing again, as you can see, this took weeks to do and a long email chain to get here to have the content reviewed multiple times. Now then, this guy got back with me and he said, as per request, here is an article regarding metadata best practices. As long as you are well within the steps, you should be good to go. And, well, I mean, with metadata, they say, you know, don't use misleading metadata. That's true. Don't put tags in titles or descriptions. That's true. Don't use metadata, well, use metadata to provide context. That's also true. Metadata is something that I take seriously as well, because that's actually one thing. For example, all the videos that got struck down, all of the metadata had something to do directly with the videos. So, for example, right, let's say this video I uploaded, and it has nothing to do with Pamela Anderson, but let's say in one of the tags, I put Pamela Anderson in there. At that point, that becomes misleading metadata, and that right there can actually warrant you a strike, because you are using stuff that is not directly affiliated with the video or the content that you are presenting to try and game the system to get more views. So that is why they do take that seriously. But at that point, I was a bit curious, because I was like, well, I go through my metadata, and by the way, about a year ago, I actually combed through my channel. I spent like 5 hours on a Sunday combing through my channel, cleaning up all of any of the bad metadata or any of the suspicious or just non-related metadata I had in my video. So I actually went through and cleaned up that stuff. I took that seriously. But anyways, it kind of made me question, why are they bringing up metadata? So then that's when I asked them, and I said, while I appreciate that information, I have made it clear that I am aware of metadata abuse and make sure all of my metadata matches up with the content being viewed. My big question here is really, will my other hardware and software modification videos in similar fashion be acceptable? These would be in the same in which none of them actively promote piracy, nor do they actively link to any places to obtain illegitimate software. Now this is when John got back with me, and he said, thank you for responding, quote, when we say circumvention of technological measures, we're referring to tools that allow users to evade a software's licensing protocol. This can mean serial numbers, keygens, passwords, and other methods to hack software or games, unquote. As per the snippet above, the strike that was confused as a penalty in our terms has a very thin line in terms of being approved or not. To keep it simple, as long as your metadata clearly defines that this is not a form of hacking / circumventing technology to have access to it, it should be fine within our guidelines. Many people people these days go to Google and YouTube for general how-tos and life hacks/hacks, if videos that would have hacking is included, it is like YouTube is promoting how to hack, even though it was made by a user that is just making these videos to share knowledge. Hence the reason as to why such is not allowed on our platform. Again, our apologies. Make your context clear and legal so that such scenarios would not be misinterpreted by general viewers and our internal team alike. Now, we did a little bit of back and forth here, which isn't really relevant to this, but in short, John got back with me and he said at one point, as what we have stated before, decisions made in hacking, quote, what can and cannot be, unquote, is fairly thin. You should make it clear on your videos and metadata that you have a documentation that what you are doing is legal, because we also review legalities with context. Now, some people might be wondering where fair use fits into this. Well, see, check this out. So I end up replying and I said, so at this point, this also brings in my question of fair use, as I believe these videos have fallen under fair use for being educational and demonstrating in nature and how they have been delivered and presented. At what point or to what degree does that weigh in on something like this? On my original long reply to the legal team, which you sent over, I had mentioned that in there as well, as I believed the videos were created in fair use, with that being a law as well. I know that can be a bit iffy though, due to the fact that there has never been a clear-cut, cookie-cutter approach to what is and isn't fair use. And then here he got back with me again. He was saying, thank you for raising that question. Here's the important part. It was also fair use logic that was used to exempt your video from being given with a strike. Fair use being that you do not claim to own the products while it is generally owned by others, that you do not show way around licensing security policies, that you do not badmouth the original owner, and more. The URL below would give you general terms about fair use, and he gave me a link that was what is fair use. And finally, this actually brought up another question that I had. So my last reply to this was, seriously, thank you for the replies on these here. They've all been extremely helpful in explaining what happens behind the scenes. With the data being gathered here, that means many of my videos of similar nature I took down do in fact fall within these guidelines that were presented. The problem here seemed to lie within the flagging system and the first few times it was presented as an appeal, which is a tad bit disappointing that it took this much time and effort to remedy the situation. Now also with one of the circumstances you mentioned, quote, that you do not show way around licensing security policies, unquote. What would a proper example of that be? The reason why I ask is because, the video is probably out at this point, the reason I ask is because I have an upcoming planned video showing how to utilize gold and game sharing on the Xbox One. However, it is mentioned that this is intended to be between family, plus it is demonstrating features which are built into and advertised on a stock and unmodified Xbox One console. So at that point, it is a tutorial for a feature which is allowed by the designers of the platform. And the final reply, at least for now, that John got back with me was he said, thanks for the insight into answering your Xbox question, as long as it is documented by Xbox or the game creators themselves that this is as such intended workarounds for family use or a quick fix that is accepted by their company, do show documentation on your content and metadata. It's always safe being on the legal side with proof. So, in short, what ended up happening there? Well, kind of to summarize it, we found out that my videos were removed because people said that they were violating the CTM. When I ended up getting that response from the legal team, they said they violated circumvention of technological guidelines, which I did think was a thing. However, when I ended up pondering this and asked them, hey, I don't ever link illegitimate software, I don't promote it, I don't do anything of the sort, so what is up with that? And also, where does fair use come into play? They ended up using those two things to the advantage to get the strikes removed. The first one being, as I said, that they took note and they understood and they watched the videos and realized I was not promoting and I was not linking to or showing how to obtain illegitimate software. And second, with fair use law coming into play right here, because I did ask that and I asked where does fair use come into play and how can that be taken into account? And this guy said right here that they actually did bring fair use into account right there, and they saw that yes, I was within the guidelines of fair use to what they believed. The problem is, fair use is kind of just a general bleh thing. So, at the end, honestly, I'm still pretty convinced that YouTube doesn't even know what they're doing, because honestly, I know my modding videos are kind of a niche audience in some way, but as I said, it took how many tries to have them say no, 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 and then when they had other people understand the context even more and they looked into it, they were like, oh, actually, these videos don't violate our terms of use. Sorry, here you go. The thing is, what I said in my rant video and what I said in other places as well too, regardless of if the videos should have been taken down or not, it really should not have taken this much time and effort to get all this ironed out. I'm really happy the videos are back, and honestly, well, deleted. I ended up taking those ones down, but I also kind of regret taking down a few other videos. Now, I did, as I said, I thought about waiting on my other videos to release them and then doing this and doing them all updated, but I said, you know what, no, because in my first video where I asked where all the modding videos were and I was explaining that, I knew that I had talked about that in there, and I said, you know, a lot of people probably won't like this, are probably going to unsubscribe. That's fine, I actually don't want those people on the channel. If you're only coming for those modding videos, to me, that's not really a super high quality subscriber because of how not often I upload those videos, and then most of the time, you know, those people are pretty silent and they'll just come around and be like, hey, when's the next modding video coming out? So I mean, I just didn't really want those people on the channel, so if I lost them, that's fine. To all the people that actually support me, man, y'all were awesome, man. I got so many good comments on there, so thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And with my other YouTube rant where I was talking about, you know, the community guidelines rant, I still stand by that video. Yes, now I know why the videos were brought back, but I still stand by that due to the fact that this process should not have been that much of an ordeal, and I should have known from the beginning what I was violating, and this just shouldn't have taken that long. This should not have taken this long. I shouldn't have gone through this many emails. Like, the system is broken. It's factual that it is broken. And unfortunately here, you know, fortunately I got the stuff back, but unfortunately, you know, people have to go through this. It happens. And I'm not even the person who's being, you know, who's the worst on this. Now, yes, my video is kind of a, well, my videos, some of them were kind of a gray area, and now we know that they kind of fell on a thin line and they seem to be okay, but you also have other people that are losing their channels and losing their privileges over complete BS, just following everything. You literally, so for example, I'm gonna drop this in here, right? Dom is live. I don't really follow him that much, but I think he's a very entertaining person, and you all might hate him, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You wanna know how he lost one of his channels? He ended up losing it because when PC screenshots for Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, he ended up making a video about them. He commentated over it. He had his own way of showing the videos, well, the pictures. He put in his own music. After he uploaded that video, some random kid in India ended up taking those same screenshots, made his own completely different video, uploaded it, and then copyright struck Dom's video. So what Dom did was he ended up appealing it because it's like, oh hey, this is a completely false copyright strike. Right? Dom ended up losing his channel because allegedly he was violating the YouTube appeal system for strikes. If anyone finds that to be fair, you need to get your head examined, because regardless of if you like the content or the content producer at that point, that is completely not fair. And even with YouTube, you are trying to operate within your guidelines and terms of services, and they're not abiding by them at times because of stuff like this and because of these little funny glitches. And by the way, Dom still doesn't have that channel back from what I know. Welcome to YouTube. So with that, the big question here is, are modding videos okay to have on YouTube? And from what I see here, from what I've experienced and from what I've dealt with on this, I've talked with some other people and they said, hey, those videos should be legal, those videos should be fine, but then YouTube's legal specialist said they weren't okay, but then their other internal team said that they were. So one, you have to realize you're dealing with YouTube. You don't know who's there, it's faceless, sometimes they don't even know what's going on, as proven by this. But the other thing that comes with it is, first off, make sure what you're doing operates within the confines of fair use. And second, you know, be respectful, don't badmouth the company, don't say, hey, screw this company, screw that company. And third, the real big thing that YouTube does not like is showing, you know, how to obtain illegitimate software. So for example, how to, from what I understand, how to modify an Xbox 360, that's cool. How to download every game for the Xbox 360 for free and mod your system, that's bad. That does not work on here. That doesn't fall under fair use, because some people might say, oh, well, this is for educational. Dude, you're telling people to go out and pirate games for the system, man. No, that's not how that works. That does not fall under fair use. But the problem here, again, even if these videos are fine, lies within the YouTube system. So at that point, you have to trust it. So with my own videos, I will say, there's actually some videos I would love to bring back, and I kind of deleted, because I didn't think I would ever get a reply back about this. I thought they were just going to leave me hanging on here. So some of my videos I might re-upload, maybe. Mainly, I'll be honest, like the Xbox 360 flashing videos, because I'll be straight up, man, those videos are still pretty good. There's even been points I've modded a system again, and I've had to follow my own videos, so it's kind of unfortunate that those videos, my own fault, I took them down, and not only I took them down, I deleted them, but they might come back. I don't know. You all let me know what I should do on that. There's other videos as well too. For example, I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask about the 3DS videos. Probably not going to bring them back. One, I don't want to mess with the Nintendo. I don't want to deal with Nintendo. That is just a headache unto itself, and I don't like a lot of stuff that they've done on YouTube, to be honest. And second, the thing is, most, if not all of my 3DS tutorials are outdated. And that's kind of a fault of just the scene rapidly growing so fast that by the time you finish rendering a video tutorial, it's outdated in some way. So I'm not going to bring any of those videos back. But now there's also other videos I have that were privated. For example, you know, showing how to install Pseudo Saturn, like on this thing. I have a video showing how to take this cartridge for the Sega Saturn and flash it with a custom firmware so that then you can load up your backup games. I also have some other videos that, you know, might show how to install a mod chip here and there. And with these things, I don't promote piracy in them. I show everything. I utilize fair use to my advantage, and I make sure that, you know, it is educational in a way, and it is demonstrating that thing. This all seems to be fine. So, good news is, you might see some of the modding videos back. So we'll see. Now finally, some people might be asking, Mario, are you going to be going in with modding videos? Well, maybe. Let's just say, I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no. We'll see what unfolds in the future, because as I said, although I might be 100% in the right with this, or even 90% in the right, whatever it is, you still have to deal with YouTube, and I am confident that YouTube a lot of the time does not know what they're doing. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. And there's probably going to be some other videos I'm going to talk about, you know, the underlying workings of YouTube and explain a few things. But with this whole ordeal, the trilogy of videos of the 2 community guideline strikes that I got in 2016, hopefully no more, I think that's over. I think, you know, we're sufficing enough with the first video where I explain what happened with the modding videos, the rant, and this video further clearing up things. So I really hope these videos helped you out. I hope you all enjoyed them. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna get out of here.